An officer is a person who has a position of authority in a hierarchical organization. Examples: military officer, shipping industry captain, the person in charge of a merchant ship. Chief officer, typically the person in charge of the deck department of a merchant ship. Second officer, typically the navigator and medical officer on a merchant ship. Third officer, a third mate, typically the safety officer on a merchant ship. Chief engineering officer, the person in charge of the technical department on a merchant ship. Second engineering officer, the person in charge of the engine room on a merchant ship. Third engineering officer, an engineering officer of the watch. Law enforcement corrections officer, customs officer, officer of the court, bylaw enforcement officer, parking enforcement officer, probation officer, a parole officer, law enforcement officer, a peace officer, police officer, security officer, politics and government, chief medical officer, presiding officer, returning officer, foreign service officer, a diplomatic officer, ceremonial and other contexts, bank officer, chief academic officer, a provost, corporate officer, a corporate title, first officer, great officer of state, merchant marine officer, a licensed mariner, officer of arms, officer, a grade, class, or rank of within certain chivalric orders and orders of merit, officer in the Salvation Army, and other state decorations. Sabbatical officer,